Hi everyone, it's Gardener Degen here. And where do you think I am? Yep, that's right. I'm at the Henderson Upper Garden. I'm at your garden. And today we're gonna go on a garden tour. But on our tour, I want us to focus on some of the structures in our garden and what their functions might be. Have you heard those words before? Structure and function? What do you think structure might mean? What about function? Let's start by looking at our science notebooks. And let's take a look at some of the structures on our science notebook and what their function might be. Let's start with our science notebooks. This one's my science notebook. Let's figure out some different structures on our science notebook. What different parts can you find? What do you have on the outside of your notebook? What parts do you have on the inside? What keeps it all together? Those are the different structures, parts that make up a whole. Now let's think about the function of our notebook. What do we use it for? What is something that you can do with your science notebook? I know I always bring a pencil. What else can you use your notebook for? Now let's take a look through our garden for structures and functions. What are some large structures that you see? These boxes here, these are called a garden bed. What are some structures that you notice on the garden bed? What's on the outside of it? What substance or material do you think this is? It feels rough and hard. What do you notice is inside of the garden bed? What are some structures? What are the plants growing in? Let's keep looking. Let's take a look at these two garden beds. Here's one. Here's another. What do you notice is different about these two garden beds? What might be a function or purpose of the smaller garden bed? What's a purpose of the larger garden bed? I'm thinking about where I'm walking in my garden. I'm making sure not to step on my garden beds where the plants are growing. Instead, I walk in between. This is called the path. Let's take a look at the structure of our path. What material is it made out of? What could be a function or purpose of this material? Why do we have a path in our garden? Let's take a look slightly outside of our garden. There are some more structures over here. Let's take a look at this. What are some structures that you notice? This feels hard. I notice some buckles or latches to keep it closed. What do you notice? It looks like it has a top. Let's take a look inside. Maybe that will tell us what the function of this structure is. What do you see inside? What do you think this is here for? What is its purpose? This is called a compost. On the side, we're able to turn our compost so that the whole compost spins. Let's take a look over here. What do you think this structure is? What are some parts that make up this structure? Do you recognize any of these objects? What do you think the shed is used for? What is its function? Now that we've looked at the structures that make up our garden and their function, let's take a look at just one plant in our garden. And let's see if we can figure out some of the structures on that plant and what their function might be. Let's take a look at a plant that's growing in our garden. What are some structures that you notice on this plant? Are there any structures that might be hidden? What might be the function or purpose of these parts of the plant? Thank you for touring the garden with me today. I had so much fun figuring out the different structures and functions. Until next time, bye!